This is a journal with me where we're gonna go live, we can connect. I am gonna just talk about things as they come through for me. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. To those who are back, I love you. Thank you for being here. When I get messages, I will share them with you. But I always say a prayer of protection that I'm only connecting with the highest vibrational beings, God's angels. So as I'm sharing messages with you through this, if something doesn't resonate with you, leave it behind. It's not meant for you. If something does, then please write it down in your journal. So we'll be talking about some of the ways that I get started with my journaling. Like I said, I just got back from a walk and it's the perfect time. I prefer to ground myself with some kind of exercise and then sit down and journal. But I know a lot of people who like to journal first. I know a lot of people who like to journal at the end of the day. And I'd love to hear if you have any questions about journaling too. I may be looking over here at my laptop to see it on a bigger screen though. But first, let's start off with some messages for you because of course I'm going to sit here and connect every time I get on here, but I wanted to also give you some journaling prompts. So what I'm gonna do here is start, and these are gonna change up like based on what you guys like doing, but I was so grateful to see the feedback that you want to do some journaling with me. I know sometimes it's hard to find time and space for it, but also what's important to remember is you can come back to this anytime and use these journaling prompts again, or you might hear something different in the messages. So that's the other thing to keep in mind too. So if you can't join me live or you don't have your journal with you right now, then definitely feel free to, feel free to come back later. So, okay. So let's go and open our journals. So like I said, I'm using my journal, but you can use any journal you want. I do encourage you to do this all in one place though. I know a lot of people who have multiple journals. They have a dream journal, they have a gratitude journal, they have a brainstorming journal. And if that works for you, of course, that's fine. There is no right or wrong way to do this. But I do encourage you, if you can, to get it all in one place because we tend to forget where we put those things. We tend to forget where we wrote things down. So I'm a big believer in putting your whole life in one place and then filling that up and then getting another one. And I always date my journals too, so I know it's like they're consecutive. I can go back and be like, you know, I had that idea last year to do this. You know, that was sometime in November. I know exactly what journal I was using in November of last year. I can go find it, which there's a lot of hacks I want to teach you with this too. All right, well, that's interesting because you can always do it your own way. You can always, let's see here. I'm going to, oh my gosh. Let's change this to, how do I get the chat? Let's see. Okay, thank you for your patience with me. I'm learning how to do this two things at once. Gotta have my reading glasses to see my laptop so far away. Okay, let's go back to what we were doing with getting started with these messages. So here are your angel messages, and thank you for your patience with me on that. First of all, there is some good news coming in for you concerning your financial matters. Right now, the energy is encouraging you to take a look around at your finances. Where can you clean them up a little bit more? Right now, a lot of us are in this retrograde energy. We're reviewing projects, we're reviewing expenses, and the energy is actually here to support you to go ahead and do that and bring balance to it. Now, sometimes this means activating that giving and receiving cycle, where you are offering your time and service to others in exchange for money. Maybe it's not something you want to do long term. Maybe it is something that you're only doing as a stepping stone to your next big thing. So let's start with that, with the journaling. And cheers. If you have your coffee or hot tea, anything with you, please join me. And let me know in the chat where you're from. I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. So if you are just tuning in, we're gonna start journaling today. I like to start by finding the very next blank page. I don't try to set aside things very specifically. I wanna be able to fill up this whole journal. Can you see my pretty crystals here? I have my, I don't know if you can see these on here. I have my really pretty crystals with my candle. I love to have a candle next to me when I'm burning. Do you do that? Do you put crystals next to you or candles when you're doing automatic writing or any kind of journaling? I like setting up a space. Now, of course, it's not necessary, but I mean, as you can see here, I'm being very casual. So I'm going to start journaling, and I'm going to offer some prompts as we go. But one of the first things I do is I always put the date. And everybody has their own way of doing it. And like I said, I just found the very next blank page where I had space, and I'm gonna write the date today, which is August 21st. But again, these messages are gonna be meant for you. Anytime you come across them, I always set that intention. And I always start my journaling the same way. Now, I want you to think about how you might wanna customize this for yourself. But the first thing I write is, thank you, God, for today. And I just had 3 gorgeous yellow butterflies are flying around in front of my window. See, this is why I love to write in front of the window, because I get to see all kinds of messages come through that way. Butterflies represent transformation, and then there's 3 of them. So that's the number 3. What does the number 3 represent to you? I feel like I've got a few people in the audience right now. Maybe that's what it is. They're telling me there's 3 people here. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for being a part of this. It's really fun to try out new things. And so I'd love to hear your feedback if this is working for you. But we just had 3 yellow butterflies fly in front of my window. So we're talking about transformation. We're talking about the number 3. And I was saying that when I start journaling, I write, thank you, God, for today. Now, I've done this so many times that I actually just abbreviate it, TGT, ! Because my God knows what I'm saying, and the angels know what I mean. And then I also write morning angels and guides. So I write MAG, M-A-G, morning angels and guides. That's just me. That's kind of my way of setting that intention that I'm only connecting with the highest vibrational beings. My team gave me a name to call them, which refers to my angels I work with, my spirit guides, any kind of ascended masters I work with. I work with Jesus a lot. So they know that's my connection with them. And a big part of this journaling is developing your own language with your angels, with your passed away loved ones, with whoever it is that you're looking to connect with across the veil. So I start off doing that. Then if you're tuning in just now, you may have missed that at the very beginning, I was saying I was immediately getting a message that we're gonna start getting some good news about our finances. But it's important we are bringing balance to them. And with all this retrograde energy, it's a good idea to go through your bills and look to see, are there any subscriptions you're paying for that you don't really use? Is there anything that you could be setting aside money for? Like we just had on, it was Monday night, we realized we had my air conditioning unit was on the fritz. And that's the kind of thing that you don't always see it coming, and you have to all of a sudden spend money on, and it throws everything out of balance. So is there anything like that in your home that you might be thinking, you know what, I should start setting aside money in case something happens with this, and then it's not as stressful. So there is, for those of you coming across these messages, there is something that they're asking you to bring more balance to. And sometimes this is activating that giving and receiving cycle of saying, okay, I need to bring in this income so that I can set aside money for that trip I want to take. How do I do that? Can you offer your time? Can you offer gifts of time or service to others to bring that in? And again, this could just be a stepping stone thing, but sometimes it's as simple as showing people your skills, because that's the other message coming through is a lot of times you will receive some kind of material resource for something you have to offer, as long as you show people you can do it. I have a fun story about when I was doing my animal communication class. I went through 2.5 years of animal communication training, did teacher training and all that. And we were required to talk to at least 100 animals, different animals, before we started charging, so that we would have the confidence that in our abilities before we added that fear around money, because a lot of people do have a lot of fear around money, or they have money blocks. Well, the way I handled that was I actually got a table at a healing arts festival where I offered free animal communication sessions. And what it ended up doing was connecting me with these other people, building a client base, and I actually started offering my angel readings again too. I had already been doing angel readings at that point. And it really taught me a lot about how I want to work with people. It taught me how I want to teach people to journal. I want to teach people how they can connect with the angels on their own. They can connect with animals on their own. They don't need me to do it. I'm here to help. But that's how I gave that service away. And in return, I got all this information that allowed me to start my business. It allowed me to build a client base. So you see where I'm going with that there. I see we have Michelle in the chat there too. Hi, Chelsea. Oh, from Hilton Head. Nice. I've always wanted to go there. I hear it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you for being here. Okay, so as I said, when I start with the journaling, I do the date. I say, thank you, God, for today, TGT. I say, morning angels and guides, MAG. And that's how I always start to set that intention. Then we've got those messages there. So here's a prompt for you. Where in your life could you bring more balance to your material resources? And of course, everyone always thinks about money, but sometimes it means you've got too much energy cluttered in a space. So actually, one of the things I've been doing lately is a lot of cleaning out. If you caught my live on Monday where I shared some angel messages with you, I was talking about how I was cleaning out my daughter's closets to help them get ready for school and like kind of get rid of the things that don't fit or they don't need anymore. And now I'm about to start doing it here in my office. I've got some just paperwork that needs to be cleared and things like that. So I'm actually going to be doing that later today. And this is a great energy for that. And that's where I do feel like, for me, this message is talking about bringing balance to my environment and the resources that I'm using to do my work. They're a little bit cluttered. It needs to be organized. It needs balance. I need to be able to access it more easily. So that's what it is for me. So I'm going to write that down. But my journaling prompt for you right now, if you have your journal, is what material resource in my life is out of balance? And of course, like I said, I'm going to be writing about my office space. And then also, I like to remind you, if you don't know the answer to a journaling prompt, just write the question. I find sometimes I'll go back a few days later and answer the question because it'll come to me when I'm taking my walk that I just got back from. If you're new here, if you're just tuning in, I'm literally just back from my walk in my workout clothes here. No makeup, nothing. We're just getting on here and chatting and doing some journaling. That's what I'm thinking about doing, is maybe on Wednesday mornings, we'll hop on and do a real casual journaling together. And then of course I'll have my more formal angel messages for you to tune in weekly. If you did get to catch my live on Monday, what did you think about it? I would love to be able to interact with you more. Do you like getting your angel messages that way? The other thing is, I was announcing on Monday, if you didn't catch it, we're still doing Leading Out Loud with my friend Chris Reckett Minopontero, Scott Cruz, and Christopher Witecki. We're still doing that collaboration together of Leading Out Loud. We're just only streaming it from Leading Out Loud now. So if you found me through Serious Joy, which I know many of you have, thank you very much, then go to the Leading Out Loud channel. It'll direct you. You can search it for it, or you can just type leadingoutloud.com. And you'll see the episode we had Monday, we talked about the energy of food. It was a really fun show. So we're still going to be doing it every night. We're just every Monday night, but we're just going to be streaming it just from that channel so we can see all your comments there. Also tomorrow, we're going to be pre-recording a frequently asked question thing for the end of the month, because we're trying to take off 1 week a month from the show and have a pre-record. If you didn't catch the one that we had in July, that was a pre-record with Bernadette. Oh my gosh, Mama Bear, she is so amazing. She had so much wisdom about using spirit animals and totems. Like if you tuned in late, we just had some spirit come through 3 beautiful yellow butterflies chasing each other in a circle. So check that out, but also check out the one from Monday night on our Leading Out Loud channel, or you can type in leadingoutloud.com and go straight to the YouTube channel that way. Okay, so let's get back to our journaling. Like I said, the journaling prompt was, what material resource in my life is out of balance? And I said my office space. I want to change up some of the stuff in here to make it more functional. I want to clear out some of the energy, and I'm going to just sit here and write all that. I wanted to give you some journal tips too. One of the things I always do is I always carry my journal with me, especially when I know I'm going to be doing things like I'll treat myself to taking myself out to lunch by myself, and I'll sit and journal and have a nice lunch, or I'll go to a coffee shop and do it. And I encourage you to do that, because a lot of times we see signs when we're out and about, and then the day gets busy, phone calls come in, kids come home from school, and you forget to write down the signs, or you forget what you were thinking about when you saw the signs. So I'm really going to encourage you to think about doing that. I have a lot of people who will say, well, but I don't want to, I mean, it doesn't fit my purse. Well, maybe that's an excuse to buy a bigger bag. I carry a bag that's big enough for my journal, because I know I always want to have my journal and my pens. I'll even carry like colored pens with me sometimes if I know I want to just sit and doodle. And that's another tip for you too. I get a lot of questions about, well, what do I journal? I don't know what to write in my journal. I want to start journaling. I want to start activating my connection with the angels or my spiritual team or a passed away loved one, whoever it is for you, but I don't know what to write. So one of the things you can do is actually just doodle in your journal. You can just color, and I will do that. If I don't feel like writing, I will doodle, and then I will get messages that way, because I'm giving my body something physically to do, and then I'm open to other messages coming through. So that's one little tip you can do there. The other thing I want to share with you is when I first started journaling physically, I used to always, I would write my diary when anything big would happen, especially if it involved a boy. And when I was growing up, it's like, oh, he broke up, blah, blah, blah. I'd write all my feelings. I would feel better getting it out on the page, but it wasn't as productive as the way that I teach journaling now. And it wasn't something that I really always wanted to go back and read, which I find hindsight is one of the most powerful tools for deepening your trust and your connection with your angels or your spiritual team. Because when you see all the ways you saw those numbers so many times, and then this big event happened, or all the signs you got that something good was coming for you, and then it came. And when you see it there, you can't deny it. And a lot of times our mind will try to talk us out of, what we actually saw, like those 3 butterflies I just saw. So go ahead and write that down for you. The other thing you can do, I kind of circle back to this, is when I started journaling intentionally every single day, I started doing it for at least 10 minutes a day. If I didn't have anything that I could think of to write about, I would write my to-do list, and I would ask the angels to help me get it done. And every time help would come in. Just like today, I wanted to have time to hop on here with you and try out a live this way, where it's casual, where it's on my phone, and just chit chat with you. And sure enough, I got all the things cleared off my schedule this morning where I could jump on and do it. Let me see if anybody else, if you are tuning in, I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. We have Chelsea here. We have Erica's joining from Kansas. Hey, Erica. Thanks for being here. Michelle's listening and watching from Missouri. Great. Thank you. Thanks for joining in. So that's another thing I want to encourage you to keep in mind, is it doesn't have to be this big pouring of the soul when you start getting used to journaling and connecting with your angels. but you can just simply ask for things. That's one of the biggest things we forget to do. Even those of us who have been doing this a really long time, is we forget to ask for help from the angels. And so you can simply write your to-do list and then say, angels, please help me get these things done today. And that's when I'll find somebody will call up and offer to pick up my kid for me, or something will just fall off my to-do list because it doesn't need to get done anymore. And so journaling is really important. Plus, it's bringing it from divine source down into physical reality so that we can actually use it and use that material resource there. So if you're just tuning in a little late, we did get a message at the beginning of this stream that there's something in our life we need to bring more balance to regarding our material resources. So my journaling prompt for you was, what material resource in my life is out of balance? And usually it's the first thing that comes to mind. Now, if you went into a place of fear when you heard that, that's not the intention here. If you immediately thought about your bank account, do what you have to do to ground yourself, because we don't want to go into a place of fear. We'll miss other messages. But it could be, maybe you did think about your bank account and you thought, well, I'd like to have more resources there. Then flip the script a little bit and go, well, what other things could I let go of in my life that would help me save money so that can grow? So we want to make sure we're having that positive mindset. We're not going into a place of fear when we're talking about material resources. And let me just check the chat here real quickly. See, hey, Jen, Nova Scotia. Great. Thank you for being here. Blessings to you as well. Are you a journaler? Let me know in the chat. So that is the first thing we were talking about today, was bringing material balance to material resources. Then I was telling you how I like to journal. And then I do want to also, let's just do an easy affirmation today. Let's see, the one I did on Monday, everybody seemed to like, everything always works out for me. I've had to use that a lot since Monday. I use it a lot anyways, but it was kind of interesting. They bring these affirmations in for us, and then I end up realizing, oh, they are giving me a heads up about some energy that I need to take to a higher vibration. I had an issue yesterday where something messed up with my kid's school form, and I went into a place of panic that it was going to affect my kid's school, and I immediately heard, you need to do the affirmations. You're going to block this energy coming through. And sometimes when you're just in that, fight or flight thing, it's hard to remember to do your affirmations, but just taking some deep breaths and just starting to say it. Somebody on the live the other day said they were going to sing their affirmations, which I will do as well when I'm really not feeling it, or I'll dance while I'm saying it, things like that, to just move my energy around. Hey, April, thanks for joining in. I just got back from my walk. I have no makeup. I'm in my workout clothes. But I love to sit in front of the window and journal. So that's what we're doing here. We're just taking a little time for that. And I was offering a journaling prompt. So if you have any journaling prompts, please let me know in the messages there. And if you did catch Leading Out Loud Monday night on our Leading Out Loud channel, one of the big messages you probably heard me say is that we want to remember to read the room this week. And so I'm going to bring that up right now too. Where do I need to read the room when it comes to a relationship, a project, anything that involves your material resources? So we're tying that in with what I just said about bringing balance to your materials resources. I was sharing, if you just joined, that one of the things I'm working on right now is reorganizing my office and just revamping it, refreshing it, changing it. But one of the things is out of balance is there's too much clutter in here. I've gotten some new equipment and I need to figure out how to organize it where it looks nice and it feels nice. I need to get some dust bunnies out of here that have collected over the last couple weeks. I need to read the room, the energy of the room. So that's another way to look at it too, is how do you feel when you walk into a room, especially if it's your office or your bedroom where you need to feel creative. When you go into your bedroom at night, you want to have that space feel safe so that you can rest, but you can also dream. Oh, speaking of other things that I always track in my journal are your dreams. Make sure you are tracking your dreams. I hear from a lot of you that you don't always remember your dreams, but if you set that intention to remember before bed, that will help. So I will actually write that in my journal too. I will say, help me have loud and clear signs in my dreams tonight. And here's a pocket affirmation for you. I easily remember my dreams. I easily remember my dreams. Why don't you write that down if you're wanting to get more information that way, but you're having a hard time. I will also ask the angels to protect me in my dreams so that I will only have high vibrational messages. If I'm having upsetting dreams, I will ask them to shield me from that and clear that. So that's another little tip there. So that's an affirmation for you there. And that message we got for the week to make sure you're reading the room, that applies to your material resources as well. So let me know if, I'm gonna wrap up here because I have some meetings coming up. Oh, it's 10:44 my time here. I'm in Central Time. So I love that 4:44. Actually, right when I was about to hit go live, it was 10:10. So there's just messages all over the place. And I hope that you're paying attention to them. I hope you're writing them down. In my journal, I keep an intuition tracker in the front so that it's easy for me to go find all the messages. And then in the back is where I'm doing my to-do lists. I'm just journaling for the day. You might be able to see, I also like to use washi tape on the edges of my, let me show you this one. On the edges of my journal for when I have planning in here. So like this is one of my weekly planners, and I find fun washi tapes and I put them on the edge so that I can flip right to that week where I'm planning something. So everything is in here. Of course, I use my digital calendar. I know a lot of people like to do that too, but there's something about physically writing it down that helps bring in more help for it. So anyways, let me know what you think of these journal with me's. I'm gonna be doing more of these lives. If you came in late, I was wanting to try it on my phone today and just do it casual in front of my window. That's my studio behind me where you normally see me on Leading Out Loud or on my other videos on my YouTube channel. And don't forget, I have a lot of playlists on my YouTube channel about how to grow your intuition. I have a lot of angel messages that are evergreen. They're meant for you anytime you come across them. So if you need more messages to help you get journaling, please feel free to go check those out. And thank you so much for being here. Remember, take time every day to connect with the angels. Bye, everybody.